Shitcase Cinema. On the Shitcase Cinema. Oh, it's the Shitcase Cinema.
Why aren't films like this made anymore, where they're just tongue-in-cheek and crap, yet entertaining? They just don't happen. Except for The Asylum, because they do know how to churn out bad film after bad film, which in turn gives me things to abuse and make fun of. So this epic unheard of movie consists of 3 spine-tingling tales, you know, like Creepshow, even though that's 5 tales, but whatever. Now, after only a mere 2 minutes of this film, I was like, oh my god, this beginning is so depressing. It's like some conference video you'd see at a boring work event, or talking to someone on the phone from the Samaritans. It'd be like, don't be depressed, just watch that fucking awful With Friends Like These, where the morbid, monotone guy talks forever about our lives being the same, yet not being the same, and relationships are a gamble, and nothing is fixed.
Relationships are a gamble where nothing is fixed and nothing is sure.
It's mental, and it's enough to push somebody over the edge. They'd be like, oh, I'm gonna do it, I've had enough, I can't stand it anymore, I'm gonna watch With Friends Like These. So story 1 centres on this goon here who decides to buy a car when his old one won't start. Now his girlfriend says he can only spend $1,500 on a new car, but he decides to splash out $5,000 because, get this, his car can talk to him. Yeah, it's stupid, I know, but Christine, this story isn't. And it's not remotely scary or amusing accidentally. It's just boring and a waste of space. So, you know, just to break up the boredom of this review already, let's see what Professor Bruce is up to. Okay, now Professor Bruce still does play a vital role for Shitcase Cinema, so let's go find out where he is, shall we? Okay, everyone's been asking for him, and here he is.
Hello.
Now fuck off, Professor Bruce.
Hello. Hello. Looks like I'll just have to go missing for another 5 weeks. Oh well.
Right, back to this. Do you ever sometimes wonder where the story is going in some films? Well, I can tell you now, this story doesn't go anywhere, nor is it even remotely interesting on any level. So the cat talks some more in a ludicrous stereotypical English accent, the girlfriend wants to buy a house by selling off the car, and naturally the guy isn't impressed with this idea, so puts his foot down and says no.
No.
That's the spirit, old boy.
Now that possessed-like voice there is about as terrifying as this story gets.
Goodbye, Kathleen, and good riddance.
So he drives away, nearly has a car crash, seems to fall out of the car sideways, which is a bit weird, and then the car drives away into the distance, laughing to itself. It's just utter crap. I mean, look at the lame shots of the fake car driving along. It's so pathetic. Kind of reminds me of that epic film called The Gladiator. How embarrassing. Back to the bus again. Now, if you were wondering what links the 3 stories together, it's the fact that they're all sitting on a bus together. That's a pretty amazing concept, right?
Wrong.
Wrong. It's retarded. So I'm just going to cut these next 2 tales down to save us all the pain and torture. So this freak here sees that his stop is approaching and decides to get off the bus, and then whoa, where the hell is he? What's with all the blackness and all the smoke everywhere? It doesn't make any sense. Now, speaking of making sense, this guy has a living organism made from mould living in his fridge. It's normal, I guess. Now, the mouldy guy randomly appears one morning and starts giving us detailed lectures on sea creatures living in polluted ocean waters. It's like a public service announcement from Greenpeace, except instead of doing a huge multi-million campaign to get people's attention, they just put out a stupid message in a stupid film that nobody's even heard of, let alone seen. And on that topic, I tried to find some information about this movie on the internet, and all I could find was a single page about it and a single image. This. Now apparently this movie is an 18, but God knows why. Maybe it requires 18 brain cells to comprehend the story, or maybe it even kills off 18 brain cells if you watch it from start to finish, but either way, it makes no sense. So the green mouldy guy who's on the cover of this crappy poster claims that he's a clone of this bozo and that bacteria slowly develops over weeks and weeks to make up this organism. Yet this mould guy appeared overnight. What? Now the only decent film that has anything to do with a fridge that I can think of was The Stuff, because at least that was highly amusing and entertaining. Oh, and The Mangler, because that had a possessed fridge in it. Which is obviously the greatest idea ever conceived, a possessed fridge. Which then puts the idea of a mouldy man living in a fridge down to number 2 on the greatest ideas ever conceived. I just have to get that statement off my chest and out there into the world. Greatest idea conceived, possessed fridge, number 1. At number 2 is a mouldy man living in a fridge. Brilliant. It's not really. This film is so bad, and it knows it's bad, but it doesn't try at all to even be remotely interesting or good, and bad is just boring. So this film, I don't even know what I'm talking about. You see, this film is so bad it's killing my brain cells, and I can't even come up with a comprehensible negative statement to put this film down with. Oh, Jesus Christ. Now, as we all know, bad films can be funny, like Camp Blood or Battlefield Earth. But this, no, this is just so bad that I'm not even going to comment on it anymore because, as you can imagine, nothing happens. It's just shit and I gave up. This scene is ridiculous. Why is the mouldy guy in the fridge helping the guy cook? It's ridiculous. If you want to maybe help him, throw him a chicken drumstick so then he can possibly choke on a chicken bone, and because you're stuck in a fridge, you can't do the Heimlich manoeuvre on him and then he'll die, and hopefully then the film will just finish because he choked to death on a fucking chicken bone. Now, you know how during my Pocket Ninja review I said I skipped a little bit towards the middle and I dared anybody to try and sit through it from start to finish? Now, if you've got no idea what I'm talking about, go and watch the review for Pocket Ninjas. Just a little plug there for the review of Pocket Ninjas. So if anyone has the balls of steel, girls included, cause, you know, then give it a go. If you do, you're a real sad bastard, but hey, everybody's got to be something. I'd love, right, for someone involved in the making of this movie to get in contact with me and give me a good legitimate reason why this movie was produced. So let's spread the word, people. Let's make this happen. Let's see if anyone involved in this mundane, utter, diabolical mess dares to pull their head out of the ground and justify their participation in it. So from the rubbish that I witnessed, I'm going to give this 0.5 out of 10 because it's not just crap, it's about as worthless as a cup of cold piss, and it's worse than Grim Weekend and other garbage that I've reviewed in the past. So next time you're on a bus journey, just sit back and relax and spare this movie a second's thought, because next time it could be you who is whisked away into blackness and smoke and confronted with a talking car or a sack of shit that lives in your fridge freezer or whatever the fucking third story's about. I don't know because I didn't even watch it, so I can't comment. But that's a good thought. Actually make up your own ideas for it and then maybe post them on the Shitcase Cinema Facebook group for other people to have a chuckle over.
No.